So, who caught that? Did anyone? Because it's rather apparent that there are some women out there that don't even seem to realize what actually constitutes chivalrous or even gentlemanly behavior for that matter. Because if they did, they would have probably realized that those gentlemen are actually sitting with their backs to the wall and their fronts are facing the door. What's the relevance of that, some of you were asking? Well, that means that those gentlemen would be able to see any possible danger that would be approaching from behind the woman, and they would be able to act upon it should the case arise. So, those gentlemen are doing exactly what they should be doing if we're talking about acting in a gentlemanly manner towards a lady. They're not sitting there for their comfort. They're sitting there because that is the actual gentlemanly thing that they should be doing.
Women do not leave good men.
Well, yeah, that's not true.
So if you start seeing someone and their story to you is that their last partner left them, please know the reason is they are not a good man.
Right, because no woman in history has ever left a good man for some petty little reason, like he doesn't make enough money, or that he did something to give her the ick. Of course, no woman could ever be that selfish or immature.
Because let's be honest, as women, we're always willing to try to work on the relationship.
Quite obviously, they haven't met all women now, have they?
While men, on the other hand, are by nature selfish as shit.
Oh, all men are selfish, are they? Oh dear.
Will always do what is best for them, regardless, point blank.
Yeah, because women never do that.
Most women will lose themselves in the relationship and therefore try to work on it because it's more of like an investment to us. But men don't give a shit. They are more likely to stay if they spent a lot of money on you because that kind of hurts their wallet.
I really enjoy watching someone demonstrate that they really don't know what they're talking about.
But if they're not being fulfilled in any type of way, whether it's emotional or physical, they will go elsewhere.
I wonder how they'll take the news that some women do the very same things for the very same reasons and actually use that as a justification for cheating.
This is just how men operate.
Well, at least they said that with confidence, if not accuracy.
Men are all the fucking same. There are a few good ones, but in 2025, good luck finding one.
Can we say that about women too, or would that be called sexist?
I'm sorry, when has dating ever been free?
Well, if a person wants to get technical about it, since the beginning of time, because a person can go out on a date with another person and no money has to actually be spent. I know that's a hard concept for some to grasp.
Are they acting like we're trying to gold dig for a piece of chicken?
Well, because some women won't even go out on a date with a guy unless they're going to a 5-star restaurant.
Women have had bank accounts for like 5 minutes.
Oh, we're gonna use that as an excuse to try to get more stuff out of guys on a date? Okay.
The guys actually have it easy.
Believe it or not, there are quite a lot of women out there that genuinely believe that men, simply by virtue of the fact that they are men, have it so much easier in this world than women do. However, I would be willing to bet that there's not a lot of women that would actually say so if they were even willing to, as they say, walk a mile in a man's shoes.
I don't care how good the information is, I will scroll every time I see a cis white man trying to give me information. And I love that for me.
Now, this might be my age talking a little bit, but I can very distinctly remember a time when it was considered a bad thing to be prejudiced against a group of people, especially for characteristics that they have no control over. But social media and the internet have really changed a lot of things, haven't they? I mean, think about it. As long as that demographic of people fits into certain categories, checks all the right boxes, as it were, then it's perfectly acceptable to put your bigotry on full display. And people will not only praise you for it, they will actually applaud you for your forward thinking, because in their minds you can't discriminate against a certain group of people, so it's perfectly acceptable to be as prejudiced as a person wants to be. Not only that, but actually be proud of the fact that they're ignoring any information that comes from someone purely based on their skin color and the gender in which they happen to have. What a time to be alive.
The men that think it's the biggest flex to be like, I don't chase a woman.
Take a wild guess on what they're about to say next.
Ew, are you gay? Did you just find out that you're newly gay?
It's really quite amazing, actually, how many women are just straight up coming out there and saying that they're homophobic. Not only that, but they're rather implying that there's something inherently wrong with a person who does happen to be gay. Yeah, that's really not a good look. But you know what else also isn't a very good look? Desperation. Because that's certainly the impression that takes like these are giving. That someone, or anyone, would have to be so desperate to actually get someone to pursue them that they're going to resort to shaming tactics in order to get them to do so. If they're not interested, they're not interested. And trying to tell them that they're gay in order to try to get them to change their behavior is not going to make them interested. If anything, it's certainly going to put them off even more.
And this is what I mean when I say a lot of women don't even understand what real chivalry looks like anymore. Like when a man is sitting facing the door, it's not really about control. Like that man's trying to protect you. But because so many modern women have been told every single act of leadership is controlling, they can't even recognize a man when he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. Then you got women out here saying, oh no, man, no woman leaves a good man. Come on, guys. Some of y'all have walked away from solid men because you got bored or thought you could trade up, thought you could find, I saw a man, he bought me a drink and he was cute. So what can I get outside of that? I deserve to be happy. And then get out there and fall flat on your face and come running back to your husband. Turn around, call men selfish, when half of the selfish behavior you're complaining about is sitting right there staring you in the face when you look in the mirror. It's you. It's you. Take accountability for you being selfish. You're mad because he stopped pouring into something that was draining him. Because you only think about yourself. And now everything's about money. If he's not taking you somewhere expensive, suddenly the man's broke. Suddenly he's lazy. Since when did connections require receipts? Oh, well, let me see what you paid. Oh, that ain't enough. Let me get a dessert. Come on, man. And don't even get me started on this new trend about women bragging about ignoring men who don't fit their aesthetic or calling dudes DL because they don't chase them. Are you serious? Are you serious? Insecurity. Insecurity is what that is. Oh, I'm confident. I'm empowered. Insecure. Signs: shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. Y'all wondering why real men ain't chasing y'all no more. They're watching you guys. They see all of this foolishness that you guys got going on, quietly checking out, not coming back. Oh, I saw that stupidity that she did. Yeah, I'm not taking her on our date. Oh, he canceled. He ghosted me because you posted that dumb video.
If you think Tylenol is bad for children, wait till you hear about rifles.
Okay, I have a genuine question, and I'm sure instead of answering it, someone is just going to block this account like they did the other one. But for all of us that I'm sure are wondering, could someone please define precisely what a rifle is?
If all men go to therapy, every single one of them, then and only then will I stop asking for a ban on guns.
All men are in need of therapy? Okay, well, that's interesting. But what I did find really spectacular is that they basically just admitted that it is not a weapon problem. It's a mental health problem. So thanks for that. So satire, right. I get that. Or at least a joke in extremely poor taste. But I have a question for the women that make this type of content. If guys start making this type of content about putting drugs in someone's drink, unbeknownst to them, will that be okay, or are you going to try to cancel them? Oh my goodness, how awful! A gentleman sat within 10 feet of another person that happened to be a woman. My goodness, how lucky and, I might add, privileged does someone actually have to be if this is the worst thing that they're complaining about on the internet?
Fun fact. All women are expensive, so choose one in your price range and shut the fuck up.
Even more fun fact, some women out there are more than happy to announce that they have a price tag and can be bought.
You know what's wrong with this picture?
And what is wrong with that picture? Well,
They're all white.
and what exactly is wrong with that? I really want to know. Because even they said that it was probably unintentionally drawn by a child, and it might even be that child's family. But even if that isn't the case, let me ask a question. What exactly is wrong with a group of people being represented that all have similar ancestry, shall we say? What exactly is wrong with that? Or is it just because they all happen to be white? Because I really wonder if they would have the same amount of problem with a picture such as that if they all had a different ancestral background. I wonder, would they find it so easily offensive then? Or are some just looking for easy ways to be offended? I can take a wild guess who was labeled as demanding, although I have a feeling the more appropriate labels would be ungrateful and high maintenance.
But the quickest way to get rid of a man that's causing you problems is to ask them for money.
Easiest way to get women like this to leave you alone indefinitely is to ask them to take any kind of personal accountability.
Don't you literally just hate when men
Get hated on for simply existing? Why, yes, I do, as do a lot of rational people out there. They actually look down on bigotry.
My version of feminism is
And what version of feminism is that?
actually the men pay for everything and I make my own money and I keep it all.
See, real feminism is actually about equality. I don't see anything equal in that arrangement.
I support women working and going to school and having rights to vote.
Oh, well, there we go. Someone actually got part of it right.
Women are meant to be treated like gods.
Well, that statement has absolutely nothing to do with anything in regards to feminism.
And I know that you probably don't have the money for it, but lots of men do this.
Yeah, and there's one of those born every minute.
Because lots of men make enough money to pay the bills and let the woman keep her money. That is true feminism.
It's always entertaining to watch someone talk about a subject that they obviously know nothing about.
And I also don't think women should live with men. That is another layer of this. There is no reason for women to live with a man.
Oh? Now why is that?
Unless he's paying for everything.
Oh, so basically then the woman would be absolutely 100% completely and totally dependent on the man for everything. Yes, how very feminist-minded.
And because women have the right to live alone now, that is also very feminist.
Oh, good grief.
I know it's really confusing, but we'll get there step by step.
Probably about the same time when someone learns what feminism actually means.
This is the type of stuff that shows how out of touch a lot of these modern women have really become with reality. Just delusional. You'll have women online saying all women are expensive, so pick one of your price range. Like that's the mindset now. They're not talking about building something real. They're not talking about doing stuff that actually matters. They're talking about transactions. That's not femininity. Like you're a salesman. Dare I say a con artist. And what makes it worse is they brag about it. They'll straight up tell you, yeah, I got a price tag. Yeah, the right man can buy me. That's not high value. You're not a high value person because you're costly. You're just confirming to men that love can't exist in your world without a receipt attached to it. Oh, if you buy me a Dolce & Gabbana dress, then I'll love you forever. Pass. Then you guys out here looking around and see people getting offended over the smallest thing. A guy sitting too close, a harmless picture, a joke that wasn't even about you. The same spirit is what ruins relationships. That same spirit. Oh, he did this. Always looking for something to be mad about instead of looking for something to understand. Always looking for the bad in men instead of looking for the good. Y'all want, all my flaws. He saw right through that and he loves me for me. But let a man make a mistake, then all of a sudden it's an issue. This is what modern dating is turned into. This is what these modern women do, man. People chasing status. They're not chasing no connection. And then they wonder why they're still alone and single.
It's a good day to stop giving a fuck about all the things that keep.
Yes, misandry levels are rising. But what I've noticed is that there are select individuals out there who apparently choose to either live with their heads permanently lodged in a particular orifice or possibly in the sand, are not realizing that increased levels of misandry create increased levels of misogyny. And let's be very clear, misandry is a form of bigotry. And why anyone would be proud of being bigoted against an entire demographic of people, I have no idea. But yet we have reached that point in time when there are individuals out there that are very proud about hating someone for a characteristic about themselves that they cannot control. So yes, it's time to celebrate the times that we live in, because the internet has made bigots very much out there for everyone to see and to truly enjoy watching. Well, I don't think I've seen a better example of a slap in the face to all those individuals that worked for years for women to be seen as equals to men in modern society. I mean, that almost takes the cake, really. Ironically, that very statement is the same one that was used and is still used today in many parts of the world to justify not treating women as equals to men, because there's biological differences. I think most of us are very much aware that there are biological differences between women and men. But what exactly is the overall goal here in regards to making a statement as that? Do some women not want to be treated as equals to men? What's the purpose of making that statement? Because it seems that a lot of women out there seem to want to not be treated as equals to men, but they in fact want to be treated as better than men. They want all of the rights, but none of the responsibilities, which is really sad. But again, I'm just going to say that that initial statement was just a slap in the face to all of those people that worked so hard for years to get women to be seen as equals.
I don't feel sorry that you're broke.
And I don't feel sorry for the willfully uninformed. So where does that leave us?
You're broke because you choose to be broke.
Tell that to the thousands, if not millions, of people that are actually unable to work and see how that goes.
In this life, we get what we settle for. If you're not making the money that you want to make, it's your fault.
Wow.
So you can either keep complaining that you're barely making any money, that you hate your boss, you hate your life, or you can do something about it. Don't complain to me because I don't feel sorry for you.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is an example of an elitist mentality who does not understand that there are some people out there that actually physically cannot go to work. There are no jobs in the areas in which they live, or they're unable to move. But they tend to conceal information like that in books.
At the end of the day, Ronnie, I am a man who's gay.
I'm sorry, did I miss a memo or something? Is it okay again to try to use someone's orientation as an insult to someone to try to get them to do something that you want them to do? That's rather implying that if someone isn't straight, then there's something wrong with them. When did that become acceptable again? Because I see a lot of women doing this when they're talking about men that don't do what they want them to do. It's not really a very good look, ladies. No, a person chooses to become a misandrist. I mean, honestly, that's the same type of logic that racists use to try to justify their bigotry. And it's not excused then either, is it? So just because someone had a few or even a lot of bad experiences with men, that does not mean that the entire population of men deserves a person's hatred. Because that is what misandry is, the hatred of men. So please try to justify a person's bigotry elsewhere.
When you're tossing, when you turn in your sleep.
Being called what a person biologically is now offensive. Got it.
How can you be balding and still ghost me?
Well, if we're going to say that a person should act a certain way while dating based on how they look, then there's a lot of people in for a rough time of it, because they certainly don't have the personalities to make up for their appearance. Interesting. But on the other hand, if men stopped dating women just for their looks, then there'd be a lot more single women out there.
To find a boyfriend on TikTok?
Oh my goodness.
I'm sticking out my yacht for the Rizzler. I'm so skibbity, so phantom tax.
I don't think it's going to get any better.
I just wanna be your Sigma.
Sometimes it's really unfortunate to be right.
I told you we needed more glitter.
Make it stop. But then again, I got sent this, so if I have to watch it, so do all of you.
But seriously, guess my zodiac sign when you join the chat and then tell me yours.
So say I think you're a Capricorn and I am a Pisces.
Oh my goodness, TikTok is really not a dating app. Seriously.
I got recoil. Gotta recoil that donk.
I wonder if this dating experiment will end well.
That's what I keep on trying to tell y'all, man. A lot of these modern women don't want equality. They want control. They want the power of a man, but the privileges of a woman. They're calling it empowerment, but really it's just selfishness that they've dressed up with hashtags. And now they're out here bragging about hating men like it's cute, calling it a standard, when really it's just bitterness. And then they're going to wonder why men are checking out. Ladies, I don't know if y'all really know this, but you can't spit on a man all day and then cry that no one wants to marry you. You can't shame a man and insult a man all day and then cry when he doesn't want to marry you. The truth is, a lot of men have just stopped playing the game with you guys. They stopped messing around with you guys. They found peace. Just started walking away. And what's wild is these same women will turn around and call a man down low because he's not chasing them. That's not confidence. Oh, well, do you like guys? No, that's not confidence. You're desperate. You're desperate. And now you're trying to insult the man into coming and talking to you. You can't do that. You're not going to insult a man into wanting you. I don't know why modern women think like this. That's not how attraction works. And then the woman gets mad because she gets ghosted. Oh, well, how do I get ghosted by a bald dude? Maybe because he had standards too. Maybe that's why. Maybe he saw the attitude before the wig. You want a man to respect you, but half of y'all don't even like men, and it shows. This is why men are done explaining themselves to you guys. They're tired of being blamed, tired of being used, and tired of being told they're the problem. When really, they just learned to see that you out here playing games, spending folks' money, and you really don't like them.
Okay, here's another hot take for you. Men are not attracted to confident women.
Well, for the most part, that's not true. But after watching this video, I think I understand what the problem here is.
The second you gain confidence, they see your confidence as arrogance. They see your confidence as a masculine trait because men are the only ones supposed to be confident, right?
The problem is that an individual might not realize they are acting arrogant. They may think they are simply being confident, and most individuals do not view arrogance as a desirable quality in a partner, whether it be a man or a woman, because it depends on how a person carries themselves. They might see themselves as confident, yet everyone else in the room might see them as arrogant.
Men see lack of confidence as humble and womanly, okay? I need you guys to understand.
On that, I'm going to have to disagree, because a person can absolutely be 100% confident, yet at the same time remain humble. As I said before, there's a difference between confidence and arrogance.
It's not all men, but it's a majority of men. The more confident you are telling other people you know your worth and you don't put up with bullshit, and men are very, very turned off by that.
I am going to go so far as to say that it's actually arrogance, not confidence, that actually turns men as well as women off. Because arrogance is not a desirable trait in almost any partner that any person would want. Because there is a difference, as I said, between confidence and arrogance. While a confident person does know their worth, an arrogant person likes to shove it in people's faces.
The more you reject a man, the more he wants you.
Ah, instructions on how to start a relationship by using unhealthy manipulation tactics. Gotta love the dating game.
Think back to high school, the mean, cold, emotionally unavailable bully who made you feel not very good about yourself, probably left some disrespectful comments, rejected you somehow and bullied you. Even though you didn't like how they treated you, you desperately craved their approval.
What a great reference! Using possible traumatic events from a person's childhood to dictate how they should go about pursuing a relationship. Sounds healthy.
Rejection triggers the core need for love and acceptance.
So for a person to want to be accepted, they have to first be rejected? Okay.
Even with your man, if you pretend like he doesn't even exist, and if you reject him a little bit and you pull back a little, his ego's gonna freak out. Because he wants to win you over again. He's gonna seek your approval.
I wonder, what type of relationship will this type of advice ultimately lead to? I find it hard to believe that this will actually ultimately lead to a healthy relationship, because the building blocks of mind games and mental manipulation really do not often lead to what is known as a healthy relationship, because healthy relationships are built on mutual trust, communication, and mutual respect. And without those things, what exactly type of relationship will a person have?
And the patriarchy has won when it tells women that giving it up for free is liberating, but charging for it is bad.
I'm sorry, but was that supposed to make sense? Because I feel that it failed to do so, miserably. But I do understand that it is the new thing to do to blame the patriarchy for absolutely everything in this world, even if it relies not even a little bit on factual information. Because if I recall correctly, it was mostly other women encouraging women to be more liberated, as it were, with their romantic escapades. But not even taking into consideration that most men, as well as most women, prefer their partners not to have a high body count. So explain exactly how that's liberating. But also, in regards to charging for it being considered bad, I might add that almost every culture in the world considers selling it to be not a good thing to do, and it's almost like it's illegal for multiple reasons, which I don't think I should have to go into, because charging for it is certainly not liberating. That basically degrades a person to a whole new level. But apparently some women will actually try to say that that is the fault of the patriarchy, and will try to argue in any way they can to make it sound empowering.
What's something women don't admit, but absolutely all do?
Just wait for it.
Probably hate men.
Well, that's one of the most incorrect assumptions I've ever heard, because contrary to what a lot of you see on social media, most women, in fact, do not hate men. Unfortunately, since misandry has become so normalized by the loud minority, a lot of women are under the false assumption that a lot of other women think the same as them. But that's unfortunately because they hang out and associate only with other women that think in the same way that they do.
Come on, girls. It's okay. If you could pick who you'd be attracted to, all women would be lesbians.
Yeah, no, that's completely inaccurate. Because contrary to what some of these women would like to have you believe, there are quite a few of us women that actually, for multiple reasons, do enjoy the company of men. And I'm sure that I'm going to get called multiple names for saying that, but all I can say to that is whoop-de-doo. If I'm going to get called names for saying things that some individuals don't like, then so be it.
Stop saying not all men.
What new and fantastical reason is someone going to give this time for promoting their prejudices against an entire group of people?
Because if good men were really everywhere, women wouldn't be living like prey in their neighborhoods.
Prey? Yeah, no. I have never felt like or lived like prey where I live, or in any of the places that I have lived. But this is yet another example why one person should not speak on behalf of an entire population, because it often just shows that they don't have all their facts together, because not every woman feels the same about men. But if a person is going to try to justify their generalizations by saying that if good men were really everywhere, then bad men wouldn't do things, really? It's not that difficult to understand that good men can't prevent all bad things from happening, because unfortunately there are bad men out there that are repeat offenders, and they do make the rest of them look rather bad. But then again, just dive into a little bit of truth once in a while and someone would have understood that.
You ever notice when women say men aren't attracted to confident women, what they really mean is men don't like my attitude? Confidence isn't the problem, your arrogance is. You can know your worth without acting like everyone owes you something. And then they turn around and tell each other, ignore him so he chases you. That's manipulation. That's not any kind. That's you playing games. The men that you want, the healthy men that you want, the men that are emotionally available and intelligent, they're not going to be chasing you. They're going to be chasing peace. And blaming the patriarchy for everything? Are we serious? It wasn't a man It wasn't a man telling you guys to sleep around like that, to be out here messing around. It was other women hyping you up. And then you're shocked when men don't take you seriously. Oh, he said, I got too many bodies. Nobody told you to do that. Nobody told you to do that. Stop being out here playing. Stop getting out here playing games. Just take accountability for the stuff that you're doing. Start doing stuff right, my God.
Is it a recession indicator that men keep asking me to go on walks for first dates?
No, because I know this has gotten lost somewhere along the way, but first dates were never about seeing how much money a person can spend on the other person. First dates are about getting to know the other person.
I'm not even talking about like, oh, let's get a coffee and go for a walk. I'm straight up talking about like, let's go for a walk. And that is the first date.
And what's wrong with that? That seems to be a perfectly reasonable way to be able to get to know someone in a very low pressure atmosphere setting so that you can actually tell if there's some possible chemistry or even a future there.
I don't mind going for a walk. I like a walk, but I've never in my life had this many men ask me to go on a walk for a first date. Could this be a recession indicator? Can we not afford coffee or drinks or dinner? I'm just asking.
No, I would say that it's more of an indicator of a lot of men waking up to their own actual worth in regards to their position in the dating game. After all, why spend a lot of money on someone that they might never see again, especially if they don't actually form some kind of connection? A simple, low-cost date is the best way in order to be able to filter out those that are just in it for the money.
If you're a man who meets a woman who hates men, here are 4 ways you can respond.
In other words, how to address someone who's prejudiced against an entire group of people. Let's listen.
1. Don't say not all men.
Why? Because it certainly isn't all men.
And that's invalidating as hell and shifts the focus onto you as an individual.
Oh, heaven forbid we do that, considering hatred of an entire group of people means hating every individual in that group.
Instead of acknowledging the collective responsibility men carry for the harm they have caused.
So if men have to share collective responsibility for the harm that they've done to women, when are women going to have to share collective responsibility for being, in part, responsible for the ones that raised those men?
And yeah, you're part of the problem, my guy. When was the last time you interrupted a woman in a meeting? Or stayed silent when your friend was being a total creep? Or brushed off a boundary because you thought you knew better?
So all of those things mean that you're part of the problem, gentlemen. Just so you know.
Those may not feel like violence to you.
Because they're not. Violence is violence. Words and rude behaviors are not violence. But then again, I wouldn't expect someone who probably has never actually experienced or even seen violence to understand that.
If they are acts of harm, and they're part of the same system that makes women feel unsafe.
I really love it when a man tells me how I feel.
2. Don't center your feelings or turn it into an argument. I get it. It feels personal, like you're being attacked by a woman.
Right, because the person who's prejudiced against all men, their feelings matter more.
Dare she? And if that just resonated with you, big red flag, but it's not actually about you. It's about the system you benefit from.
I would like it noted that women also benefit from that system as well. And that very system is the one that allows them to be bigoted against an entire group of people with no repercussions.
And she's not inviting you to prove her wrong. Your job is to just listen and sit with the discomfort without making it about defending yourself.
I wonder if this conversation was about skin color. Would this person have the same opinion?
3. Don't ask her to teach you how to be a good man. As tempting as it is, don't just hand her the homework.
Well, quite frankly, I don't think that most women who hate men could even begin to answer that question in the first place, because they think all men are bad, and most of them don't even know what defines a good man.
You can figure that out without asking her to do free labor for you. Read bell hooks, listen to podcasts, follow progressive women creators. The internet is free.
Right. The internet is free, and it has all sorts of information on it like this.
Behaviorally, over time, show her you're safe. Words count for something, but not for much. What matters is consistency. Do you respect boundaries? Do you hold your guy friends accountable when they're being horrible? Do you do the work in therapy?
Just so we're clear, if a person is hated for who they are, for a characteristic they cannot control, they're supposed to be very understanding of the person that hates them.
Your behavior is what proves you're not part of the problem.
Yet not acknowledging that part of the problem is that there's an entire demographic of people that hates other people simply for being men.
If you can lay down for free, you can lay down for a fee. Put a price on it.
I'm not quite sure what the saddest part about this particular message is. Whether it's the fact that these types of videos are gaining in popularity, or that there aren't more women out there fighting against this particular narrative, which is basically indicating that, well, women are selling themselves to the highest bidder.
Don't lowball. Go. It's gonna separate the boys from the men. Put a price on that thing.
I know what the saddest part of that is. It's that entire narrative. And the fact that there are some individuals actually pushing that idea, that that is some sort of women's empowerment, when all that it is, in fact, is self-degradation with no extra steps. It's really unfortunate that there aren't more women out there that are encouraging women, and especially young women, to understand what having self-respect actually means, and to have more respect for themselves. Because putting a price on it isn't going to separate the boys from the men. No, the only thing that's going to do is show those out there who has respect for themselves and who has a price tag.
I think the government should pay women, like a monthly stipend, maybe $5,000, seems pretty reasonable.
I'm sure we're all wondering the same question. Why exactly would women need to get paid $5,000 a month from the government?
The government should pay women, right, and just women, because, listen, the government is run by men, right? Like, even if there's women in there, it's run by the men.
Oh dear. Well, here we go.
And men are always saying they're providers, they protect us from other men. They're providers, they keep us safe.
Okay.
So if the government is men and men are providers, then the government should provide.
I would like to take this opportunity to promote the idea to the education system to start teaching not only critical thinking, but also logical reasoning in schools, because it's quite obviously needed.
Right, they said they're all providers, so the government should pay us because we're women.
Shockingly, a lot of individuals actually do believe that women should be paid for simply existing by the government. But it's always been my belief that if a person is earning a wage, they should actually be doing something to earn that wage or that stipend. So what exactly are the plans for some of these women in the future for earning their keep? Or do they really expect to just be paid to exist?
Y'all keep on asking why men only want to go on walks or first dates like it's a recession thing. No, it's a respect thing. Men are finally done dropping hundreds, $200, $300 on a woman that they're never going to see again. Are you serious? A walk shows who's real. Like, it's showing these men who actually wants to connect, not just, oh, I'm out here to collect a dinner. I'm out here to collect something. No, we're not doing that no more. And then you got women saying if a man doesn't pay, he's broke, while in the same breath saying, oh, we want equality. How are you going to be talking about, oh, while I want equality, but then I don't want to be equal with this bill? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of sense does that make? Y'all still expect a man to fund your lifestyle. Pick one. And you come in with the all men are the problem. The ones preaching accountability for men while never really honestly and truly taking any accountability. None of it. You can't hate a man and then complain that there are no good men. These modern women, man, I tell you what, they don't like men. They don't like anything about the men. Where are all the good men at? If there were any, y'all say there are none. But even if they're the ones that y'all are looking for, they're going to slip right past you because you don't know what you're looking for. You just say that all of them are bad. That's why men keep on trying to tell you, quit making these stupid blank statements. Because you're going to look past the one that's actually good by thinking them all, well, until the right one's going to prove himself. No, he's not. He's not going to play these games with you guys at all. You're like, oh, she got a problem. He's probably going to see the problem before that man in your face sees the problem. And he's going to be going on down the road. Now, where's that cute guy that was hanging around here? Gone. He knows you're a problem. Y'all got to stop that.
If you have a bunch of friends from the opposite gender, you're a red flag. You're a red flag.
I'm sure that if we wait long enough, that statement will somehow make sense.
Because there's no way they all friend zoned you.
Wow. Really? Now this is going to come as a great shock to some, but there are individuals out there that choose of their own free will to remain single and not try to date every member of the opposite gender that they come into contact with. Shocking, I know.
Especially during this time where you can't find a decent person to be with. There's no way, if you had good qualities, one of those girls or guys would have been with you. There's no way. There's something wrong. There's something wrong.
Yeah, there is something wrong here. And that would be the persistent idea that many seem to want to cling to, that if a person happens to be single, there must be something wrong with them, especially if they happen to have a lot of friends of the opposite gender. It's like they're being penalized for possibly valuing those person's friendships over romantic entanglements. But I do understand that the idea of not dating someone that you actually like hasn't really occurred to some.
Victims of the male loneliness epidemic deserve exactly zero empathy from women.
And why would that be?
Because hating women is exactly how they got into this mess. And the only thing that's going to get them out of it is being less misogynistic and to stop placing the burden of their problems and the solutions to those problems on women.
I feel at this point, I should actually state the obvious. Because at least as far as I have seen, for the most part, those speaking about the supposed male loneliness epidemic have mostly been women. And a person has to wonder why that is. Not only that, but those particular women who choose to talk about how lonely and misogynistic most men supposedly are really seem to have never actually had a conversation with any of these single men. Because no, most men are not misogynistic. And those that are single are actually, for the most part, rather happy being single in their drama-free existence where they can actually just enjoy their peace. It's almost like some of these women need to believe that men are lonely so that they can justify some of the statements that they are making.
Name one thing that women created. 8 billion people.
Okay, so women certainly helped create 8 billion people. And I don't think anyone's going to argue that women, in fact, do the majority of the heavy lifting when it comes to bringing life into this world. But here's my question. Of those 8 billion people, half of them are men. And there's a lot of women out there that say all men are the same, that it's all men until it's no men. So in regards to creating those 4 billion men, what part did women play in those men turning out the way that they did? At least the ones that so many women are complaining about. Are some of these women going to take responsibility, at least partially, in how they turned out? Or is that something that is going to be passed off to the responsibility of men?
To all the men out there, if a woman ever says, "What color should I get my nails?" I'm going to get my nails done right now.
Be very wary, because she's about to ask you for something.
What shape should I get? Anything mentioning the nail or nail salon? That is the part where you Venmo, Zelle, Apple Cash, send the money, drop off the cash, pick up on the hints, and pay for our nails.
But why though? Why should he pay for her nails to get done? Did he ask her to go get them done in a specific way and in a specific color because that's the way he likes to see them on her and it was his request that she get them done? If so, then that would make a reasonable amount of sense that he should pay for them. But I find that rather a bit of a stretch because most guys don't care one little bit about a woman's nails. Notwithstanding the fact that most women get their nails done for themselves because they like the way that they look. So why exactly should a man pay for something that a woman is doing for herself? After all, there are so many women out there that are more than pleased to tell you exactly how strong and independent they are, but yet will not even oftentimes flutter an eyelash when it comes to asking a man to pay for something that they should be doing all on their own. What is being put out there currently as dating advice is seriously beginning to concern me.
Yes, being mean also works, and it's really important when you're talking to a man.
Really? Do tell.
Because if you're too nice, a man's gonna take that as an opportunity to take advantage of you, step all over you, and he's just not gonna respect you at all.
I think there's a very good reason why it's projected that the majority of women in the very near future are going to be single. And it's not because they're choosing it.
You also have to balance your feminine energy while being mean, and that's what's gonna make him respect you.
Huh, silly me. And here I thought that it was always best to just be yourself, as opposed to pretending to be something that you're obviously not. Because no one can keep up a facade indefinitely.
And this is known as black cat energy.
Maybe there was something to that old superstition after all, of having it be bad luck to have a black cat cross your path.
If you're too nice, a man's not going to respect you because he doesn't see that as a challenge. Being too nice is just too easy. If you're a little bit rude, then he's going to see it as a challenge and he's always going to chase you.
Unless, of course, that man has a sense of self-worth, good self-esteem, and prioritizes his own happiness over playing games, in which case he's going to run in the opposite direction.
I go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like I love you.
Oh, they sure tried, didn't they? But should we bring up the subjects about the things that women used to do that actually used to make them worthy of being loyal to? Or is that a conversation we're not ready for?
I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy.
I have a much better idea. How about we just normalize not using people?
Men will really do anything to avoid having to take accountability.
I think by now many people are aware of how much I truly love a good generalization, although it's come to my attention that some individuals don't know what a generalization is. Please see the following.
I shared an interaction that I had yesterday with just a random strange man out at a store. He approached me, he offered me something, I politely declined, and he got frustrated with me, he threw his hands up at me, and I was like, wow, that is what women deal with on a daily basis. Like,
so naturally, that one encounter, even if it was a handful of encounters, would lead any reasonable person to come to the conclusion that the majority of men lack the ability to take accountability. Of course.
this is why women don't let men come up and approach them. This is why we ignore men, we walk away. This is why we feel unsafe.
I found it rather amusing when one person would go so far as to speak for an entire gender.
And the men are just in the comment section, just making every excuse they can to excuse this man's behavior and other men like him. He could have just been having a bad day. He was trying to do something nice for you. You're just ungrateful. He could have been going through something personal. You don't know his life. He could have been mentally impaired. Anything they could think of to excuse this man's actions when he clearly overreacted. And they could have just said, oh yeah, that was an overreaction.
Kind of like something else I could mention.
Saying, wow, that was such a weird interaction. I'm rude, I'm ungrateful, I'm petty, I'm insecure. I just hate all men and I was looking for any excuse to hate men. I made the story up. It didn't even happen. I just needed attention. I needed to feel validated. Women get one reaction, men get another.
The fact of the matter is, one wishes that that was true, because then that would actually justify one generalizing an entire other gender.
So there was a woman talking about if you have friends of the opposite gender, it's a red flag. And I'll say this. If you're a woman in a relationship and you've got a male friend who's buying you drinks, taking you out, paying for lunch, sending you little gifts, let's just call it what it is. The man's not a friend. That's a backup plan to you guys. You know the man likes you. He knows he likes you. And your man knows he likes you. You're not getting the attention for free. You're cashing in on a man's interest while pretending it's platonic. And this is why so many men, there's a lot of dudes out here that don't trust women in these types of friendships because there's too many modern women using it as a way to get attention, using it as a way to get validation and perks while claiming, oh, we're just friends. That's disrespect. That's not friendship. You're disrespecting the man in his face. If you're with a man and you still want a little extra male attention on the side, you're not really ready for a real relationship. Period. End of story. And then you got women out here talking about certain men don't deserve any empathy. Really? Really? So because he decides to stay away from the drama that you guys be causing and the chaos, that means that he deserves to be lonely? You guys have a knack for manipulating men, and it's not working anymore. And then the woman out here talking about, oh, what did women do? We made 8 billion people. I literally have no clue why women think that they're doing all of this themselves. I have no clue anymore. Like, a man is not going to be there. It's not going, it doesn't take two to tango. I don't understand if they've taken classes and completed them and they understand how actual biology works. And once again, we got women out here talking about, oh, men should pay for my nails. Did he ask for a specific color? For a specific style? Then why would a man be financing your self-care activities? That's something that you do anyway. Why would he be financing that? You're strong and independent, right? How come you can't act like it? And then you have women talking about, oh, you got to be mean to men to get respect. Creating chaos. So you're creating storms and you're confused as to when you get struck by lightning. You guys have bad attitudes. Y'all play games and y'all wonder why so many of y'all are single. Foolishness.
Hear me out. Girls should be getting a paycheck every single month from the government for simply just existing.
Why?
Why? Because we have way more essential things that we have to buy, and I don't think it's fair that we have to buy those with our own money.
I wonder, where do they think all this free money is going to come from?
Also, we like to shop way more than men do, so it's only fair that we get a paycheck every month.
They really do walk among us, don't they?
Attractive women are cheated on the most.
Is that so?
You want to know why your partner cheated on you with someone that was nowhere near as attractive as you? Because it boosted her ego to get with your man.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Usually there would be some blame laid with the guy for making a decision to cheat, but instead we're blaming the other woman? Well, that's nothing if not, I suppose, somewhat predictable.
She's jealous of you, your looks, and everything about you.
Again, who made the decision to cheat here?
When she first saw you two together, she thought to herself, how the hell did he get her? And there are so many of these women out there that target guys just because their girlfriend is attractive. Nothing boosts their ego more than to get with that guy.
Yeah, there are women out there like that. Yet, we're blaming the woman? Okay.
And attractive women do have a habit of dating guys that are only with them for their looks.
And that would be their mistake in choosing to be with someone who is so superficial.
And guys that are like this are very heartless.
Oh, now we're getting to it.
And on top of that, him dating you in the first place is what boosted his ego to then believe that he can get other women.
Just a thought here, but if more individuals actually started pursuing partners based on who they were as people, not primarily just on what they look like, they might have more successful relationships with less cheating.
Women, stop telling the world that there's something wrong with you. Stop telling the world that you're depressed and you're anxious. You're not depressed, you're not anxious.
Oh, this seems to be yet another example of what I like to refer to as a social media trained psychologist.
You are a powerful, divine woman living in a world that capitalizes off of and profits from oppressing women.
Now, I would like to add that there are unfortunately places in this world where women are actually oppressed. However, that does not refer to anywhere in the United States.
You feel that in your body every single day in tiny, microscopic little ways.
I, for one, love being told how I and millions of other women like me are oppressed. Do go on.
You feel it in your body every single day in big ways. When you come home to your husband and you have to work your full-time job and you have to take care of all of your children and you have to do all of the mental labor, emotional labor, and domestic labor of keeping the home.
That is not oppression. That is actually called being an adult. And if a person thinks that that is what the definition of oppression is, not only did the education system fail them, but also their parents probably did as well.
You feel that. You don't have a vocabulary for it?
I really don't think that one should be worried about other people's vocabularies when one obviously isn't even using the correct terminology here.
Because we live in a patriarchal society.
No, we don't.
But learn the vocabulary. It will open up your mind. It will open up your world. You're not depressed. You're oppressed.
Just curious. Can anyone make a diagnosis now of others over social media, or do they have to have some kind of credentials for that? I wonder.
This man just made the grave mistake of catcalling me from his car while I was walking my dog.
Okay, I think most people would consider that to be rather childish and rude, but why are we making a video about it?
I looked up his license plate.
Oh dear.
And did you know it's really easy to find someone's address? Yeah.
Now, why exactly would a person do that?
Do you know how easy it is to mail someone a box of wasps and asbestos and other things that they probably don't want to open?
Okay, well, personally, I don't approve of catcalling from anyone to anyone. However, I'm not quite sure that it needs to resort to this level of sending harmful things through the mail. Pretty sure there's a law about that somewhere.
Anyway, protect female rage.
I don't think I would call that so much rage, more as an extreme overreaction to an individual's, albeit rude, behavior.
Okay, I know that this is like bad to say. I know it's bad.
Oh, then it should be really fun to hear.
But I think one of the lamest things you can do as a woman is have a husband.
No, in point of fact, that is not one of the lamest things that a woman can do. But please continue with this demonstration.
I think it's really lame.
I can in fact think of many things that are much more lame than that.
Whenever I'm talking to somebody who I think is like somewhat cool and suddenly they're like, oh, my husband, I'm instantly like, oh, you're what? Gross.
I think it's high time that we truly appreciated when someone demonstrates exactly the behaviors that they're talking about.
So now women want the government to pay for them just for existing because they like to shop more. Really? It's not empowerment. It's entitlement. You guys are entitled. Then you're going to turn around and call men lazy. and you want the government to pay you just for existing. Like, make it make sense. And this thing about pretty women getting cheated on the most. No, you picked a man who only cared about your looks. That's your choice. Where is the accountability? Some of these modern women out here saying, oh, I'm oppressed because I have to work and I have responsibilities. That's not oppression. That's called being a regular, normal adult.
Remember, as a woman, you have the power to create life.
Is that so? And here I thought that took two people.
You and God have that in common.
No, I'm not a religious person, but I have studied quite a few religions, and while I'm no expert, the last time that I checked, in most cases, God and whatever religion most people believe in usually didn't need any help in creating life, unlike a woman would. But please go on.
If you want to go to church, you usually have to give a donation.
Who can guess where this is going?
Like, you go in correctly, and he wants to go on a date with you 50-50, he wants to split the bill, he wants to do all of that. No. If you're gonna come to the temple, come correctly or don't come at all, baby.
How very charming. Indeed, one could go so far as to say, almost downright amazing, that during the process of that entire analogy, and especially right at the end there, one actually managed to make it sound like one big pay-to-play situation.
Stop dating men with children.
Let me guess. This is a preference, right? For women, it's perfectly acceptable as long as it's about men. But if men prefer not to date women with children or single moms, then that's a problem.
Men with children either want to still be with their baby mama, are secretly sleeping with their baby mama, or they're wanting to be sleeping with their baby mama.
Oh, those are very specific. It sounds like someone had some possible personal experience in that area.
And by some slim-ass chance that that's not true, the drama and the bullshit that comes along with dating a man with children, especially if you don't have children, don't you do it. You will lose your mind, you will lose yourself, and you will never be a priority to a man that has children.
I would like to point out that this is almost the exact same argument that some men that choose not to date single mothers actually use, and then it's considered to be inappropriate or wrong.
Now, you don't have to listen to me.
Well, thank heaven for that.
But once this video gets out on this FYP and people start commenting, come back to this video.
To what? Giggle about the fact that this happens to be so very similar to a lot of videos that some men make that a lot of women detest?
No, because, like, how do you expect me to be submissive to you if you don't have any money?
The type of person that submits only if there's money involved. Right.
What am I submitting to? Poverty? Ew.
I mean, if a person's okay with being called any of the numerous names that type of behavior is called, then by all means, who am I to judge?
He's worried about you using him for his money. It's probably because he doesn't have enough money for you to use.
Well, on that note, if that's true, then I guess there's a lot of women out there that have nothing to worry about if they're worried about being used for their looks.
Can someone tell me why guys just aren't trying anymore?
Well, sure, I can explain that. It's because a lot of women, or rather I should say, the loudest women out there, have actually demonstrated quite well that there's nothing worth trying for.
They can't even take us out for like a simple date. I keep seeing on the internet how everyone keeps getting treated.
Really? Everyone?
And I'm just like, we can't even get the bare minimum?
But what exactly constitutes the bare minimum? No one can seem to come to a consensus on that. So that is a large part of the problem. Some individuals think that $200 first dates are the bare minimum, while others are actually just satisfied with coffee. So some really have to make up their minds.
And it's really sad that it's like a universal kind of experience.
No, it's really not universal, because a lot of women are having absolutely no problem at all dating, while others seem to be having quite a time of it.
It's so easy to please us.
Really?
I would enjoy just someone visiting me at work and bringing me my favorite coffee. How hard is that?
See, that's not an unreasonable expectation, but there are those women out there who seem to want the moon, but couldn't even tell a person where in the solar system it is. If a person doesn't know what the definition of a term actually is, it's a whole lot easier just to admit it than to make an entire post demonstrating it.
If a man says he wants you to be his piece, that man is chaos. He cannot self-regulate, and he wants a woman who will not hold him accountable, and you can believe that.
The ironic part about that is that any woman that would respond that way to being asked to be a man's piece has actually never found peace themselves, therefore doesn't know how to bring it to anybody else, so naturally they would think that way.
And once again, apparently women have created life alone now. No man, no biology, just vibes and delusion. Then they say, if you want to date me, come with money. So it's not actually love that you want, it's a transaction. You're looking for a transaction. The same women will say men are shallow, but their version of submission only shows up when there's a bank account attached. You know what we call that. And it's not femininity. You should be out here on the street, honing and perfecting your craft. And they wonder why, with this type of stuff that they got going on, they wonder why men aren't trying anymore. Men are tired of performing for women who treat dating like a hustle. These part of women are treating dating like a side gig, like Uber Eats, like DoorDash. Oh yeah, I get out here and I make a little money off of these guys. Come on, man. Men, stop chasing this type of nonsense. Men are walking away from this type of nonsense, man. Y'all need to get y'all's act together.